Madlamino, and this is Doek Diaries. So this is my next post after the hair change. I actually had one on Sunday, but I decided not to post it. I had a thought, and it was around something that I read from Paulo Freire's Pedagogy of the Oppressed. It sounds deep, but it's actually quite practical. And it's about oppression and the idea that the oppressors become sub-oppressors. And it was very interesting for me, having grown up as a black woman, because there were a lot of dynamics in my society that I never understood. Like, why is there so much violence in our communities? Why is there so much rape? And I've written a book about that subject as well. But the whole thought that when people are under pressure, the most natural thing for them to do is put the ones that are more vulnerable under more pressure. And as you would assume, society-wise, black women are always at the bottom. And it's not new. A lot of people have been talking about this. But I had a thought recently around how the roles have been reversed somewhat in a lot of our societies, where women are doing it for themselves, sisters are getting their paper, making their own choices, traveling, delaying, being mothers and barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen, as I am right now making supper. But one of those things that clicked for me today, which actually inspired me to make this video, is the thought of women are no longer at the bottom of the food chain, but there is actually someone who is at the bottom, and that's the black man. And it might not seem natural to a lot of people or make sense, but just stick with me. If you think about it, whereas before there was white people at the top, black men in the middle, and then black women at the bottom, now women have actually gone above the black man, and every conversation, not every conversation, but there is this dominant trend of the black man being at the bottom of the food chain and being seen as the bad guy. So they lie, they cheat, they don't take care of their children, they do all sorts of things. And as much as at times I've agreed with some of those conversations, I think being a mother really changed a lot for me. Whereas now I see my son as a 2-year-old, but I also see him as a future grown black man. And the issues that black men face are a lot more close to my heart as a result. And it got me thinking that actually now a lot of black men are frustrated and are imprisoned, I would say, because they're not making the money, they're not the ones bringing home the bacon. And actually, you can get a woman who's gonna be like, nigga, I don't need you. I can do that all by myself. You're just here as a favor. And a lot of conversations have been had, especially one, for anyone who's interested, you should watch He Motions by T.D. Jakes. It's a powerful sermon, very, very powerful sermon, where he actually unpacks the things that black men deal with, where firstly, he never grew up with his father, so he doesn't have a positive black role model to look up to, male role model. And the second one is how the mother who raised him was still upset with the dad. So she kept saying, your dad ain't shit, black men are losers, black men just play women, and all of those typical conversations that aggrieved or hurt women have. And side note, most of these statements come from an honest place, because all these women went through all those things, and as a result they became who they were. But as they were capturing or building the psyche of their sons, one of the things that they did is instill within them that people like you are useless. And it scared me for a bit, because I was like, whoa, what if my son ends up with a woman like that? What if he finds himself imprisoned and at the mercy of being at the bottom of the food chain? And the reason why I've brought this into Doek Diaries is about women issues, women things. Don't get it twisted. It's a small thing. It's since we've been at the bottom of the food chain, can we find it within ourselves to empathize, to understand, to love, to accept, to respect, and to embrace black men? Although society currently is not doing much affirming of them, we give birth to them, we marry them, they are fathers, they are brothers. So I think there's room for us to actually sit and unpack the way we relate to black men and also take note of some of the negative impacts that we have on them without, and I mean this sincerely, without discounting their faults. So we're not saying, oh, he beat me up yesterday, oh, he cheated on me with my best friend, but I love him. It's not that. It's as you play a role in someone's life, can we be more deliberate about it being a building, loving, embracing, and strengthening role? You can tell my dress is bad, but yeah. Madlamin, no? And this is Doek Diaries.